Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I bid upon my lecturer, Dr. Muhammad Fauzi bin Ismail, and my name is Muhammad Hidayat bin Muhammad Yusof. Today I want to present about OSH implementation at Topcliffe. What is OSH? OSH is occupational safety and health. OSH is concerned with the safety, health and welfare of people at occupation in multidisciplinary field. The flow concept of OSH is hazard, risk, harm to accident. Objective of OSH is to study theories and relate to relevant professional engineering practice, expose students to the benefit of implementing OSH, assess implementation OSH in Topcliffe. So this is part A, facilities for occupational safety and health. Safety, health policy and health policy at workplace. This business therefore falls under the category of the FMA 1967 and OSHA 1994 Act. Due to more than 5 workers, the goal of the OSHA Act is to provide all workers and employers in the workplace with and encourage occupational safety and health. The company must provide the safety first signage. Existing facilities relevant to act or to prevent hazard. This is important for all organizations to have safe facilities for employees at work. The facilities provided by the employer should comply with the OSHA 1994 Act. Firefighting system is essential to be installed in the building for safety purposes. As an example, a fire alarm, fire extinguisher, firefighting hose, and water sprinkler. The yellow tape is intended as walking path for employers and alert not to cross the yellow line as there is danger, and it is according to the OSHA 1994 Act. Our solution is to prepare a yellow tape is intended as walking path for employer and as alert not to cross the yellow line as there is a danger. This is the example of the previous talk. A red color indicates registration, a blue color indicates mandatory guidance, a yellow color indicates risk around the area, and green color indicates guidance. So as you can see, there is an example of the symbol with their color. Safety equipment and personal protective equipment, PPE. Personal protective equipment is equipment worn to reduce exposure to hazards that leads to serious injuries and diseases in the workplace. Action with chemicals, radioactive materials, physical, electrical, mechanical or other workplace hazards can result in certain injuries and illness. Maintenance program, communication tool and safety checklist. Anti-bribery management system, ABMS, is to fight corruption in the company. Topcliffe implement the manufacturing execution system, that is MES, as their production system. The hazard should be minimized as much as possible in the workplace. As an example, hazardous chemicals, ladders, scaffolding, respiratory hazards, falling objects, and many more. So this is part B, type of hazards and the way to overcome it. What is hazard? Hazard is a source of danger which has a potential to injure people or damage the property of the environment. This is the type of hazard that is chemical, ergonomical, psychological, mechanical and biological. An example of chemical hazard is chemical exposure to the air. Example of the ergonomic hazard is exposure to unnatural posture. An example of psychological hazard is stress or any violence that happen at workplace. An example of mechanical hazard is machine malfunction or any flying substances. An example of biological hazard is exposed to airborne of dangerous virus or microorganisms. How this event can be avoided? The company can take steps by listed below, that is preventive procedure, identification or evaluation, analysis of the cause, consequence, remedies, prevention procedure, tool or equipment. This is an example of the flowchart in managing ergonomic hazard. Firstly, when the activities pick up of many parts for packaging and delivered, and then when the hazard occur, there is a risk of overaction which leading in causing an injury to a person, and then proceed to possible accident, and then preventive procedure, tools and equipment, and the safety. So this is an example of the hierarchy form. It contains of hazard identification, risk analysis, and risk control. So this hierarchy form section description. Hazard identification, that is identify the essential activity of tasks that pose major threats to the health and safety of workers. Risk analysis, to evaluate the risk to safety and health from existence hazard at work. Risk control, removal or neutralization threat in a manner sustain danger to the workers. So we proceed to part C, that is procedure and activities. It is to be carried out in the event of emergency, injury or accident that happen. Activities that need to be carried out, that is investigation, secure the location, notify or not, notification. So this is the JKKP, Jabatan Keselamatan dan Kesihatan Pekerjaan Malaysia. In English, it is DOSH, the Department of Occupational Safety and Health. So it contains JKKP6, JKKP7, JKKP8, JKP9 and 10. So the form itself contains a specific accidents. So for the first JKKP6, it for accidents and dangerous accidents. For 7, workplace poisoning or disease. For 8, annual register of accident, poisoning, illness for an organization. For JKKP 9 and 10, this form is used only when the Director General of DOSH or any DOSH officer needs additional information for accident or accident only. So what employers need to do in case of accident? So firstly, we must determine the accident, and then we must determine who was injured, and then we must know what kind of injury that he or she had, and then after that we take the required action. So as you can see in this form, in this chart, in this flow chart. So we proceed to part D, OSH Management System. What is OSH Management System? Occupational Health and Safety System that include health and safety program, health and safety policies, incorporating health and safety activities. The purpose is process that put in place by employer to minimize the risk of injury and illness. The step including identify, assessing, and control risk. So main component of OSH management system, firstly safety policy, second safety risk management, third is safety assurance, fourth is safety promotion. So routine informant system, daily safety briefing. Conduct a daily pre-job safety briefing to clearly specify responsibilities and expectation. We must conclude the 5S program. Sort, set in order, shine, standardize, and sustain. So for the occupational safe and health OSH document, there's two. First is quality control is typically used to generate the manufacturing process to achieve the product's concrete output outcome. Commonly used to produce the manufacturing process to achieve the concrete output of the product. Next is EC certificate. EC certificate production quality is to make sure the products and service meet customer needs. Safety awareness and training program. Workplace safety preparation is a program aimed to deliver information and expertise to the employees to do their job in manner that is healthy to their workers and their co-workers. So this is safety awareness training that been conducted in Top Glove. A is Zero Harm program, safety and health program, hazmat training, cybersecurity, fire drill, and last but not least, 5S training. So for the Zero Harm program, the aim of Zero Harm strategy is to run a workplace through the introduction of protected work process without causing a person to injury. Zero Harm culture was introduced in Top Glove as an additional initiative above meeting the safety and health requirements set by the Department of Health and Safety, DOSH. All Top Glove factories target to be part of the full Zero Harm program by 2020. This is an example of picture of the program. For the hazmat training, based on statistics, 58% indicate that 1 to 4 times a year was the normal occurrence for hazmat accident, with 21% receiving calls between 6 and 12 times a year. Top Glove is aware of the importance of hazmat training to curb all accidents involving chemicals used in producing products based on rubber materials. Top Glove has invested in, for the cybersecurity, Top Glove has invested in IT surveillance system and the development of policies and procedure for data protection. For the 5S training program, it is to increase practical understanding of how the 5S system can be adapted to any company in order to increase comfort in the work environment. It is to make workers aware of how to prepare efficiently and systematically during the implementation of the 5S system. For the fire drill, employees themselves will attempt to help put out the minor fire without contacting the fireman squad in case there is any emergency. Exposes the staff to firefighting unit roles, fire management skills, protection and the danger that arise at work. For the safety procedure, for the SOP, regulation, procedure and standards that you need to achieve progress in organization management and product operation field. Warning and emergency sign. Safety sign can help to reduce liability by providing proper notification for operators and other workers in the vicinity on the risk presented by machine, chemical hazards, requirement for protective safety gear. So lastly is marking escape road. You can see the figure above. For the PPE, personal protective equipment, there is protective helmet, safety boot, rubber gloves and face mask. So I think that's all from me. Thank you for listening.